Greetings, Valhuvians. Hope you have a good week so far. Well, it's time to look at the final episode of not only the Sylvester McCoy era, but also of the classic era of Doctor Who, Survival. So, here we go. The Seventh Doctor brings Ace back home to Perryvale in West London. The suburb is not as it should be. A mysterious black cat is wandering around, somehow creating a situation in which humans are hunted down and made to disappear to another dimension. Ace becomes worried when most of her old friends seem to have disappeared, but the Doctor is more preoccupied with the behavior of the strange cat. It becomes apparent that the black cat is being controlled by a strange being in the other dimension, viewing the seas of Perryvale through the cat's eyes and choosing which humans to chase and transport. An unhappy young man called Stuart becomes his next victim. Ace follows soon afterwards, hunted down by a cheetah person on horseback, who seems to have a hunting affinity with the curious cat. Later, the Doctor and a keep fit constructor called Patterson are chosen and transported to another world, bathed in a blood-red sky, where the Doctor is greeted by his nemesis, the Master. Bom bom bom. The renegade is evidently unwell. His eyes and mouth displaying feline characteristics, and he uses a black cat, or kitling, to create a dimensional bridge for the cheetah people to hunt prey on Earth. He tells the Doctor that the planet is alive and has a bewitching influence. The indigenous population bred the kitlings and had a great civilization, but they regressed into animals through the power of the planet. He too is beginning to show changes and needs the Doctor's help to escape from the planet. Ace has meanwhile made contact with some of her friends, Shrila and Midge, who are hiding in some woods with a young man called Derek. The planet is evidently dangerous. Both Stuart and a terrified milkman find out when a cheetah person hunts them to the death. Ace and her friends soon find the Doctor and Patterson, and the Doctor suggests that they are a very ancient planet, which is dying. The cheetah pack then attacks, and during the fight back, Midge kills one cheetah while Ace injures another, called Kara. She begins to form an attachment to Kara and nurses her, tending her injuries, which worries the Doctor greatly. In time, Ace's eyes change as she begins to transform into a cheetah herself. Ooh, that's not good. She abandons the Doctor to go hunting with Kara, but he eventually wins her around. Yay! Midge is meanwhile completely fallen to the power of the planet and is turning into an animal. The Master seizes on this and uses Midge to teleport them both back to Earth and away from the dying world. Aw, man! The Doctor persuades Ace to help him get back to Perryvale, and she does so, also enabling Patterson, Derek, and Shrila to flee the strange planet. Patterson denies anything amiss has taken place, falling back on his survival of the fittest mantras and his self-defense classes. The Doctor and Ace now head around Perryvale in search of Midge and the Master. They eventually find them both at the youth club, where they have killed Patterson for sport, and Midge too was killed in the Master's machinations. Kara's arrival brings comfort to Ace, whose transformation is continuing, but the Master kills Kara too. Aww. The Master transports the Doctor with him back to the Cheetah planet for a final conflict. The Doctor resists the pull of the planet, turning away from violence, and is transported away from the dying world. Phew! However, the Master looks doomed on the planet as it begins to break up. The Doctor has gone back to the TARDIS and Earth, where he finds Ace, whose metamorphosis has reversed, and tells her she will have grown through the experience. The element of the Cheetah planet, however, will remain within her forever as they return to the TARDIS. A fitting ending, if I do say so myself. Let's take a little bit of outside references. During the Seeds in Midge's flat, Ace grabs War, an album by rock band U2, and says, "Are they still going?" And they are still going on even to this very day. So anyway, let's look at the production of this episode, beginning with writing. Writer Aurora Monroe approached script editor Andrew Cartmel at a BBC scriptwriting workshop and asked that she'd, quote, "killed to write for Doctor Who." The story Monroe developed incorporated themes including the morals of hunting, personified by the cheetah people, and signposted by Ace's friend Ange, collecting for hunt saboteurs. Working titles for the story included Cat Flap and Blood Hunt. The title Survival was chosen by Cartmel. Monroe was disappointed by the realization of the cheetah people saying in 2000 interview, quote, They should have just had cheetah eyes and a very faint pigmentation round of cheetah spots, and big canine teeth. And in fact, I think the actors that were cast, from what I was told, were doing all this wonderful expressive facial work, and then these Puss in Boots things were dropped on them. And so then you can't see what they were doing under there, particularly Kara and Ace. There were these so amazing scenes between them, and for me, that was supposed to be my lesbian subtext, and you can't see it. Okay then. Anywho, now on to recording. Survival was only one of a handful of Doctor Who serials to be recorded completely on BBC Outside broadcast video, instead of the mix of OB and studio video that was more common during the late 1980s, and the mix of film and video that was usual before them. The only other stories to be recorded solely on OB video were the Sontaran Experiment, Delta and the Bannerman, Silver Nemesis, and the Curse of Fenric. It was almost 30 degrees Celsius, or 100 degrees Fahrenheit, on the shooting days for the scenes on the planet of the Cheetah People. One of the extras removed her costume, revealing that she was wearing very little underneath, and simply walked off the set, causing delays while a replacement was found. The battle of the climax of the story was recorded and is set on the site of the ancient hill at Hortonsdale Hill, Perivale. The majority of location recording was done in and around Perivale, with small sections shot at nearby Ealing, outside and near the Drayton Court pub. Now on to the final Doctor Who episode in the original series. Having already surmised that episode 3 survival was likely to at least be the last episode of Doctor Who for some time, and possibly the last ever, the program's producer John Nathan Turner decided close to transmission that a more suitable conclusion should be given to the final episode. To this end, script editor Andrew Carmel wrote a short, melancholic closing monologue for actor Sylvester McCoy, which McCoy recorded on the 23rd of November 1989, the day after episode 1 was broadcast, and also by coincidence, the show's 26th anniversary. There are worlds out there where the sky is burning, the sea is asleep, and rivers dream. People made of smoke and cities made of song. Somewhere there's danger, somewhere there's injustice, and somewhere else the tea's getting cold. Come on, Ace, we've got work to do. This was dubbed over the closing scene as the Doctor and Ace walked off into the distance, apparently to further adventures. The Doctor Who production office at the BBC finally closed down in August 1990, having been in continuous operation since 1963. Although Survival was the last Doctor Who serial of the original series to be transmitted, it was not the last to have been produced. That was Ghostlight, which had been broadcast some weeks earlier, as the antepenultimate story of the original run. This story is the last to feature Anthony Ainley as the Master. Ainley was not asked to return as the Master for the 1996 Doctor television movie. Instead, Gordon Tipple was cast as the Master for the prologue, and Eric Roberts played the Master for the rest of the movie. Ainley reprised the role of the Master for the 1997 computer game Destiny of the Doctors. He continued to be active in Doctor Who, attending conventions and recording a commentary track for the DVD of the 1981 serial The Keeper of Traken. Ainley died in May 2004. Ah. This story was the last to entirely feature Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor. McCoy briefly returned to the role at the beginning of the 1996 Doctor television movie to regenerate into the Eighth Doctor, played by Paul McGann. Finally, this story was the last to feature Sophie Aldred as Ace. Aldred would have continued her role had the series been renewed for season 27. However, Aldred's contract was set to expire at the middle part of that season. As a result, the character of Ace was set to be written out of the series in an Ice Warrior story called Ice Time, by Mark Platt. According to various interviews with the production team, the new companion would have been a female safecracker whom the Doctor would have taken under his wing, with her gangster father as her recurring character. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Both McCoy and Aldred would play their characters on screen for the BBC on 2 occasions after Survival was broadcast. First, in the 1990 episode of the Schools and College's series Search Out Science, and once more in 1993, along with many other former Doctor Who actors in Dimensions in Time, a benefit for children in need. The two actors reprised their roles in officially licensed audio productions for Big Finish starting in 1999, and again in 2001 for the BBC webcast production Death Comes to Time. Doctor Who eventually returned to production as a BBC television series in 2004, produced by BBC Wales. Rose, the first episode of the new series, aired on the 26th of March 2005. As the new series is produced as 45-minute episodes, this makes Survival the final serial to date to be produced in 25-minute installments, which have been the standard for the series, except for one season experiment with 45-minute episodes in 1985, since 1963. This story was also the last to feature the face of the current Doctor in the title sequence, a tradition dating back to the Macro Terror of 1967, until the 2012 Christmas special and the second part of the 7th series. Both the TV movie that followed this, and the revived series of 2005 until September 2012, had title sequences featuring a time tunnel effect, differing in style from time to time. This effect actually served in universe as the time vortex. Last but not least, cast notes. The part of Kara in this series is played by Lisa Bowerman, who is now more familiar to fans as the voice of Brittany Summerfield in the Big Finish Productions audio dramas. She was also director of many Big Finish productions, and also returned to the Doctor Who series proper when she provided voice acting work for the animated special Dreamland in 2009. The serial features guest appearances of the comedians Gareth Hale and Norman Pace, and actress Adele Silva as an 8-year-old in her first television role. Interesting. So overall, as an end to the classic era of Doctor Who, as well as the 7th Doctor era, it's kind of interesting, and the final appearance of the Master in the classic era of Doctor Who is pretty spot on, if you ask me. So overall, I give Survival 4 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Well, tune in next week as I count down my top 10 favorite 7th Doctor episodes. So until then, this is Whovian Queen saying, "Oh my, get out!" when I say run, run! Of reverse polarity, the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly, baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo! Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, and Stetsons are cool.